Hello, Professor. How are you? I hope you are fine. Okay, so this is my video. I'm going to talk about planning in teaching. Okay, so planning is something that teachers have to take into consideration. So that's the first question that I'm going to post. Is it planning important? Well, some people argue about it, and I said yes, it is very important because there you can find all the things that you're going to do in the classroom, how you're going to do it, okay, what you're going to do, what are you going to cover during the class, and the different issues that may happen in the classroom. So when you plan, all of these are taken into account, and it can be better. Okay. So now, how to plan? Well, there are some steps that we could follow for a successful planning. So the first one is to select the aims. Okay, what are the objectives of the lesson? What are you intending to do? What are you intending to teach? Then the number two is to choose the topic. Okay, so now you have the objective, and now you have to choose a suitable and meaningful topic for the lesson. So then you can find number three, the supporting material, videos, pictures, blogs, articles that can support that topic and that can lead to those objectives. So then we go to step 4, which is plan the activities. So you have to plan the games, or what activities are you going to do, if it's a worksheet, or what are you going to do to give them to a student so they can practice, learn, and improve or achieve these objectives. Then you have to take into account the number 5, which is the pace of the lesson. So how much time are you going to spend with one activity, with this material, with this? So you can have like the structure of the lesson and to see how much are you going to cover about the topic and which objectives are you going to fulfill. Then you have to plan the teaching style or the learning styles that students have. So how are you going to teach that topic? What are you going to do? What activities can fulfill the learning styles, if it's kinesthetic, visual, or what are you going to do? So that's something that you can also have when planning. And then we have step number 7, which is plan the anticipated problems. Okay, so what problems should emerge from these activities, from the topic? Maybe if the students can understand, or maybe you're going to use speakers or videoing and it doesn't work, so what are you going to do? So also you plan the solutions in this step 7, the problems and the solutions to these problems. Okay, and number 8 is something that authors call as fillers, which Cameron 2001 says is something that it's like a plan B, something that you planned. So if, for example, one student finishes an activity but the others are still doing it, so you take the filler and you give it to a student, so no student is wasting time. Okay, so these steps are related to planning, and that is why it's so important, because your lessons will be very supported and authentic somehow. Okay, so now what about unplanned lessons? So this is what I'm going to, the unplanned lessons. So you have the planning, and sometimes when you go to the classroom everything is a mess. What you planned wasn't that good as you thought, or something went bad and students were like dispersed, so everything that you planned goes down. Okay, so that's when the unplanned lesson goes to the role. So you have to be creative, plan something immediately to cover these things that the students didn't take into consideration. So you have to plan the new activities that you're going to do, because the activities that you plan were not that good. So that's something about unplanned lessons. Also, something else that deals with unplanned lessons is, for example, an activity or a part of the topic that you didn't consider that important, but the students did. So they start to discuss, to talk about it, to give examples, to give situations, to give experiences. So that's something that you didn't think that it would cover so much time, but suddenly they were producing language, they were doing something, so that's something good, and that's something that you didn't plan, so that is something related to unplanned lessons. Okay, so It deals to the question: is the unplanned in the planning good? Well, some people said no, but I said yes. Okay, it is very good because uh, it's something that you develop in your teaching style, and you can develop other skills which are connected to this teaching. So when something goes wrong, you can do it quickly. Okay, you can activate your skill about planning and cover the lesson in a different way. However, you have to be careful. And planning lessons should not cover all the lessons. So you said like, no, I'm not going to plan because I have like I'm planning super skill, but that's bad because sometimes it doesn't go that well, and some problems can emerge. So if you didn't plan anything, and you're going to the unplanned lesson, but it didn't go that well, so that becomes like a cycle, and it's not very good. So the unplanning lessons are good in in a level. So that's you just keep it for problems, for emerging situations, and for developing other activities. So, for instance, if you do an activity, but then you realize that you could do it better, so you change some things in the moment and it goes well. So that's something unplanned. And then it goes to reflection, where you can reflect on how well that was and how can you implement it in other lessons. But that's another topic. Okay, so that's it. Thank you very much.